few minutes, I want to go ahead and share my thoughts, some more of my thoughts about Tim Tebow. Tim's in town today. There are literally thousands of people right now camping out, waiting at Barnes & Noble down on East Colonial, ready to see him. We're going to head down that way ourselves after the show.
Well, Timmy's a very good man. He's got good morals, sets up for the kids and everything. They look up to. They need somebody, good in the community like Tebow to look up to. So, a good guy.
And I want to also announce something, a new development as well. Is, as you know, those guys who listen to our show regularly know that Talking Old School is the place, and Roger Franklin Williams is the individual who's been telling the truth about Tim Tebow for the last year and a half or so. It's certainly since he's come under attack by so-called the more traditional media, if you will, or the so-called experts led by, of course, Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, and now Colin Pencilneck's on board with that too. This notion that Tim Tebow won't be a good pro, or it's not NFL material or whatever. So we've actually started a YouTube channel now, and it launched this week thanks to John Perez and Cinematic Expression. So you can get us 24 hours a day at youtube.com/TebowTruth. And that's where you'll see the actual truth about Tim Tebow coming directly from me. And one of our first segments includes a segment from our show the day before the NFL draft last year. Wednesday, the day before the draft, I believe it was April 20th, where you heard the prediction from Talking Old School that Tim Tebow would be a number one NFL draft choice. Now, of course, that contradicted all the so-called experts that, he's a third or fourth round draft choice. In fact, he won't even be drafted as a quarterback. He's not quarterback material. He's an H-back. Yeah, that's what he is. Well, according to the so-called experts, Tebow was an H-back who would go in the third or fourth round. According to Talking Old School, he would be drafted in the first round. That was based on no so-called inside knowledge or no nothing other than just common sense is what it was based on. But anyway, so in these last few minutes, I just want to let you know, first of all, that you can find us telling the truth about Tim Tebow 24 hours a day now at youtube.com/TebowTruth. In fact, today's segment might even be posted up there a little bit later in the week as well. And here I'll just start and just share my most honest and most basic thoughts about Tim Tebow and why I see it the way that I do and why I believe in him to the extent that I do. And it starts with just striving to be someone who sees with my own eyes and thinks with my own brain. And I think it's just absolutely fascinating. First of all, I've never seen a player at the college level, especially a quarterback, particularly a quarterback, do the things that Tim Tebow can do and that he did. And he's certainly, without a doubt, the most outstanding player that I've ever seen at the college level and the most outstanding quarterback, largely because of so many different and unique things he can do. He can beat you passing, he can beat you running. He can beat you with design plays, and he can beat you improvising. He can beat you scrambling and making big plays with his feet for long gains. I'm scoring touchdowns that way. He can beat you just by grinding, shifting into old school T formation fullback mode, which they chose to use him as at Florida, and he can beat you grinding the ball down the field.
I like the fact that he was the quarterback. He knew when to do the play. He knew when to throw it, when to rush it. He knew all the moves. But I'm finding it weird. Like, they didn't say anything about wristbands. Now we're here at the back of the line at Barnes & Noble waiting to get my football signed and our books and stuff, when they said that we should have asked.
Now, how long have you been waiting?
About 2 hours, maybe 2.5.
And so how did you find out about the book signing and so forth?
It was on the news this morning, and it was on his website last night. And I'll check that maybe like 2 times a week. I'll check his website for anything special, but it had nothing about wristbands. So what's going on?
It's tough. It's going to be tough to get in there. There are thousands of people trying to get in there. A bunch of people camped out overnight. But hope you get in there. Hope you get to meet Tim.
Yeah, it's going to be really special, man. He comes all the way here to Orlando from Jacksonville, from Broncos, everything, just to see all of us. It's cool.
How long you been a Tebow fan?
Well, my parents have always been Tebow fans, and pretty much since he started, since I was like 6, I've just loved him. It's been so cool.
And what do you like best about him? Why do you think you say you like Tim Tebow better than maybe some other Gator or some other football player?
Because he just knows when to do everything. He knows how to treat his team, how to train them, and I don't think there's any other college or pro quarterback that can do what he does.
And how old are you, Chase?
12.
Here we got Chase. Chase is 12, and he already knows more than 99% of the so-called media experts. Here's a guy that knows how to evaluate talent right here. Well, listen, Chase. Hey, thanks for joining. Hope you get into C10.
Yeah, me too. See you guys.
Good luck.
Now, the other thing is that I'm just absolutely fascinated by, and I think it's bigger than just a football thing or a sports thing, and that's I've never seen a guy who's accomplished as much as Tim Tebow has in any endeavor, really, but especially in sports, come under the amount of criticism that this guy gets. I mean, particularly from the mainstream of sports media, they've almost created an identity for Tebow that's basically false. And as I've said before on this show, I mean, every Aborigine in the outback of Australia knows that Tim Tebow has an awkward throwing motion. I've never heard so much talk about a throwing motion in my life. And mechanics are mechanics, and anybody can. A guy can change his mechanics. What a guy can't do, is get heart and courage and guts and durability if they don't have it, and that special winning something, and that's what Tebow's got. But anyway, so that my point and my goal here is to be a counteroffensive, if you will, in support of Tim Tebow. Not that he needs it, as Dave Cowan said, all this media stuff is just noise anyway, or at least it should be. But I'm seemingly there are a lot of people in the NFL that apparently don't see Tebow's potential either, especially these idiots up in Jacksonville. So, a guy, and the guy that passed on these people in whether it's Del Rio or whether it's the GM or whoever it is, those guys just put a nail in their career coffin. 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, how would you like to be known as the guy that passed on Tim Tebow? Well, there's a handful of guys up in Jacksonville that are going to be in that boat very, very soon, just like Kuiper and McShay and Colin Pitzelneck are going to be in that boat as well.